Hi, my name's Laura. I make book videos. This is my first one, to be nice. It's going to be my Booktubeathon Wrap Up. So basically I read about 4 books for Booktubeathon. One I did finish afterwards, but I'm just counting it anyway. The first one was Everybody Sees the Ants by A.S. King, and that was for my Let a Coin Toss Decide Your First Book challenge. Now, I did enjoy this book a lot. It didn't quite live up to the expectations that I had, because a few people had really raved about it on Booktube. I would say, I think I'd probably give it about 4 stars. All the books I read were about 4 stars. I'm not sure where my physical copy's gone because I can't actually find it. I'm not sure where I put it. I would say that if I think if I was a teenager and I'd read it, I would enjoy it a lot more. Because I'm 23 now. If I was, I'd say about 16, maybe 15, I would have enjoyed it a lot more because it's very it has a bit of angst, I'd say. Not really a YA person. I'd say there's a lot of angst in this. I did enjoy. Well, let me say what the book's about first. So basically, it's about a young boy who's going through some, I would say, like emotional difficulties. He's getting bullied in school, so he starts having these dreams, and basically his granddad went missing before he was born, and he starts having these dreams that he's going to save his granddad in the war, he basically helps him through like his emotional problems he's having. And yeah, he starts to see sort of ants in his waking life as well, that kind of just like dancing ants in like the corner of his eye and stuff, that keep like doing little like kind of reacting to whatever situation he's in at the time with like little picket signs, or they'll be dancing, and it's quite quirky and unique, I'll give it that. I did enjoy it. It's just, yeah, it wasn't as mind-blowing as I thought it would be. So yeah, I think it definitely appeals to a younger audience maybe. So my next book was Read a Book About Something You Want to Do. Now for this, I had already started reading Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run, and I thought it'd be good for this challenge because I really want to go travelling, and he does a lot of travelling in this book. Now I would say I did really enjoy this. It's quite a chunker for me. I don't usually read bigger books because I'm not the quickest reader. But yeah, I wouldn't say it was fast paced, but I did really enjoy it. Like, I'm not a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. I just enjoy memoirs about, celebrities, especially people who are quite artistic. I would say this was also 4 stars, as I said before. It was really, really interesting to get a look at his life because I didn't really know anything about him beforehand. Oh God, my cat's making an appearance. Yeah, I didn't really know anything about him beforehand, so it was very interesting. And I would say I always kind of viewed him as this very American, patriotic man, and yeah, he does love America. That's very clear in this book. But I don't know. Like, I have a newfound respect for Bruce. Like, he's a music enthusiast, and you can tell from the very beginning he talks about all his favourite people, like all these people he looks up to, like Bob Dylan and like the Rolling Stones and all blues musicians, and like, because my taste is very similar to his as well, I really enjoyed this. If you love kind of the music from the 60s, especially 60s, 70s, I would say to read this because he's very passionate about that sort of thing. I also really enjoyed the bits on his mental health. I thought that was very interesting, because it's not always discussed in memoirs, but I did really appreciate him talking about that. And I wish my cat would leave me alone sometimes. This is Salem. Salem says hi. So yeah, I did really enjoy this, and it was just very, very interesting. Yeah. So my next book I read was The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Now this was for my read and watch the book to movie adaptation. Read the book, watch the movie adaptation. This I found to be quite fast paced. I don't always read kind of these... Is it kind of a detective story? Yeah, it's sort of a detective story. She's trying to figure out what happened to this girl. So you probably know the premise of the story by now. A girl, she gets on the train every day. She sees these people out the window that she kind of she sets these kind of they're kind of the ideal wife in her mind, and she's in a bad way. She drinks heavily, and one day the girl goes missing basically, and she kind of helps figure out what happened. I did find it very interesting to read about the alcoholism side of it. I found that very fascinating, and the way it was described, because it seems quite accurate, quite realistic. I did enjoy the pacing. I did enjoy a lot of the writing. Writing wasn't amazing. For me, a 5-star book, the writing has to blow me away. But I did enjoy the writing. I did want to read more. I did want to turn the page. The only thing I would say, the con I would say, is that a lot of the women in this were very passive. They just kind of let things happen to them a lot of the time. And a lot of the men were very violent, and I'm not sure why. There was like one character that wasn't violent, like the therapist, and then there was one female character that wasn't as passive. The girl that goes missing, I would say, but the rest of them were all very similar, very interchangeable. And you do see there's several different perspectives in this book, which I really enjoyed as well. Now, I would say, though, it is only a 4-star. Again, none of these books blew me away, really, which is really quite disappointing, to be honest. Now, the next book was Read a Book with Green on the cover, and I chose Baal by Robert McMahon. Now, I didn't finish this. I got a tiny bit of the way through, but the bit I did read, I did find very interesting. I really did enjoy it, actually. But I do love a kind of tacky horror, and that's the direction it was leading me. This is about a kind of... It's like this evil creature that kind of becomes reborn every few years, I believe. And as I said, I didn't read much, like 20-30 pages, something like that. Trigger warning for rape, though. There is a lot of rape at the beginning of this book. Well, there's a rape in the beginning of this book, should I say. But yeah, I really liked the tone. I'm a horror nerd, though. I love horror, so I'm all for that. Let's see where that goes. The next book is the next challenge was to read a book whilst wearing a hat the whole time. Now, I will admit I did not wear the hat. I'm sorry, so I guess I didn't meet the challenge. But I read Alice by Christina Henry. And again, trigger warning for rape. That is the pro and con of this book. Now, I know, why would it be a pro? I enjoy dark humour. I enjoy dark books. Why did I say dark humour? I enjoy dark books. And this is very dark, but there is an unnecessary amount of rape in this book. I'm not going to lie. But as I said, I enjoyed how dark it gets as well. So it's one of them. It's a pro and a con, I'd say. I really, really enjoyed the way... I enjoyed the take on Alice in Wonderland. I'm not one of them people that's like, ooh, fairy tale retelling, need to be there and read that. No, but this was good. This was very dark. And there's some scenes in this that are like stuck in my head now, and I keep thinking about them. This was also very fast paced. and I really enjoyed that. I also enjoyed the character development of Alice, because at the beginning she was very passive and very like, she was a bit, yeah, just very passive, but I understand why though. She had a lot of bad things happen to her. Again, the writing didn't blow me away, so hence why I'm giving it 4 stars again. I would recommend this though, I would, if you enjoy dark kind of fantasy. Not even fantasy actually, because I wouldn't even say there was a lot of fantasy, but it was quite dark, so if you enjoy dark books, recommend that one. The next one was Read a Book with a Beautiful Spine. Now I picked Sabriel by Garth Nix because I couldn't find one with a beautiful spine, because apparently I've read all the books that have beautiful spines. How'd you do? That's the spine on that one. Again, I only read 38 pages of this. I'm not a huge fantasy person though, and this is very heavy on the fantasy. I do enjoy a fantasy book now and again, but yeah, there was a lot of fantasy in this. It's about a I don't know how to explain what this is about. There's supernatural elements, there's magic, there's the pacing was very fast. I would give it that. I think I just need to read more of this to have a opinion, shall I say. And I was struggling to get into it a little bit just because I'm not a massive fantasy person. So the next one was Read 7 Books, and for this I chose The Black Spider by Jeremiah Gothef. I don't know how to say that. I started reading this again and I only read 8 pages of it. I will say that the writing was very beautiful. I did enjoy the writing. The only thing is that it was so heavy-handed with the Christian elements. There is a lot of religion in this book, and that is like shoved down your throat basically. I thought it was going to be like a gothic horror from the cover, because it says, the blurb says, after one of their own people repeatedly fails to live up to a pact with the devil, a petty and morally bankrupt village community is plagued by a swarm of deadly black spiders. Using a complex narrative structure, Goethef's cautionary novella shrewdly dissects the iniquitous social dynamics of rural life. But I've only read 8 pages, so we'll see how it goes. I did enjoy the writing though. It was a little bit dense, I'd say. But yeah, I want to see where it goes. Just got to get through the Christian aspects. But if you're into that, this book's for you. So yeah, I read 4 books in total. But Born to Run I finished afterwards. But I'm just counting it anyway, because who cares, you know. But yeah, the 3 I did read, Girl on the Train, Alice, and Everybody Sees the Ants, were all pretty decent books. I would recommend them all. Just wish there'd been one that was like amazing, you know. So yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you for watching my first video, and I'll see you next time.